6 pounds of peeled and sliced apples in our crock pot. I'm gonna add half a cup of brown sugar packed into our apples, and then half a cup of white sugar. Just measure that out super quick. This is gonna be such a delicious fall little surprise treat. I bet you've never made anything like this before. It is so good. We want this to be nice and sweet because that's a lot of apples. Yum. Of course, we're gonna add some cinnamon. You're gonna want about a tablespoon to a tablespoon and a half of cinnamon right in there with the apples and that sugar. And if you don't have a crock pot, you can do this in an instant pot or on your stovetop, but you guys know I love my crock pot. We're gonna add a little bit of salt just to balance out all that sweetness. And we're just gonna freshly grind that salt in there. Oh my, this is gonna be so good. You guys are gonna love this. The last thing we're gonna add before we get this cooking is a tablespoon of vanilla. And I know that might seem like a lot, but this is a lot of apples. And we are just going to drizzle that on there. Beautiful. All right, and that is it. We are gonna give this a good mix to make sure everything gets combined with that sugar, with the apples, the cinnamon. Now you can use fresh apples for this. It's actually preferred, but I did not want to peel and slice, 6 pounds of apples. So I just got the canned apples. It tastes just as good. And honestly, it kind of works better for this because they cook up so much quicker. But we're just making sure this is nice and mixed together. This looks absolutely perfect. This is going to be great for a nice little neighbor gift, or if you just want something to hand out for Thanksgiving or anything like that, this is gonna be it. We're gonna pop this on low and let it cook. All right, you guys, it's been 6 hours on low. I do wanna note, if you are doing fresh apples, it needs to be on there for 10 hours, but this is ready. Look how beautiful golden those apples look. Our house smells like apple pie, but this is not ready yet. We are gonna come in with our hand blender, and we're gonna go in and blend these apples. And they should be soft enough to just fall apart. Keep it underneath there. You see how it's kind of turning almost into what looks like an applesauce, but this is not applesauce. This is something so much more tasty. It's honestly perfect for fall, and I cannot wait to give this a try. All right, that is completely blended. Now it is time to store our delicious apple butter in our mason jars. I'm gonna go ahead and fill up our jars, and then we have to put these in the fridge to let it thicken. All right. Obviously, we're gonna fill up many of these mason jars. I have my oven mitt on because that apple butter is still hot, but we're gonna place our first jar in the fridge so that I can thicken up and we can enjoy it. All right, it is time to try our apple butter, and I have the perfect pastry to try it, a croissant, but this is good on a muffin or some bread. A pumpkin bread would be delicious, but honestly, you can bake with this. You can do whatever you want with this delicious apple butter. Oh, I cannot wait to try it. I made a couple batches for my neighbors and my family and friends, so let's go ahead and, oh yeah. See how it thickened up a little bit? And if you want it thicker than this, you can boil it or keep it in the crock pot for longer, but I think this is the perfect consistency. All right. Ooh, I am too excited to try this.
Is it good?
I'm gonna be snacking on that all fall long. All right, those were just my Nutter Butters that I dipped into milk and lined my springform pan with. All right, and we're gonna move this to the side and bring in a large bowl. And into our large bowl, we're gonna add 2 blocks of softened cream cheese right in there. And then I have 1 can of sweetened condensed milk, and we're gonna add that whole entire can of sweetened condensed milk in with our cream cheese. This is gonna be such an easy and delicious no-bake dessert. If you love peanut butter, you will love this dessert. Next thing I'm gonna add is a family-size banana cream pudding. This is the instant pudding, that's important to note. Before we start mixing this up, I'm gonna bring in my heavy whipping cream, and we're gonna do 1.5 cups of heavy whipping cream into our bowl. It's 1.5 cups. Beautiful. Last thing is a little bit of pure vanilla extract. Just 1 teaspoon should be plenty for this easy and delicious little mixture we're making. Banana, Nutter Butters, cream cheese, what's not to love? We're gonna grab our hand mixer and we're gonna start whisking this together. Yummy. You wanna just make sure everything gets combined together. It gets nice and creamy. That pudding will thicken up. That cream cheese will get nice and whipped up. It's gonna be a beautiful mixture. Let's go ahead and get this going. Oh my goodness, this mixture is ready. It is thick, it is banana-y, and it is delicious. All right, so we're gonna move this to the side and bring back our springform pan with those Nutter Butters. And we're gonna put half of our mixture right on top of those Nutter Butters. Kind of do it in scoops so that when we spread it out, we don't move around those Nutter Butters too much. But this mixture smells so good. It smells like banana cream cheesecake. Oh, and I can still smell those Nutter Butters. I am salivating. All right, now that we have our first layer smoothed out, I'm gonna bring in my 2 bananas that I cut, and we are just going to line up our bananas right on top of our cream cheese mixture. This is gonna add such a delicious layer, and cream cheese will help keep those bananas nice and colorful. So let's go ahead and do a whole layer of these bananas. All right, place that last one there. And we're just gonna add a little drizzle of our Skippy peanut butter that I melted. So I'm just gonna put my whisk in, and that's gonna help me drizzle that right on top of those bananas. This little layer of peanut butter is gonna help tie in the Nutter Butters on the bottom, and also who doesn't love peanut butter and banana? So this is just gonna add all the flavor. Yummy, doesn't it look so good?
It does look good. This is Elvis's favorite sandwich.
Yep, but we're making it into something way better.
True.
All right, so that looks absolutely delicious. Now it's time to add the rest of our cream cheese mixture right on top of that peanut butter and those bananas. All right, that looks perfectly smooth. Now this is gonna go in the fridge for at least 2 hours. All right, it's been 2 hours in the fridge. Now before we pop this off, I'm gonna go ahead and just decorate just a little bit. I still have some of my melted peanut butter, so we're just gonna do a light little drizzle right on top, kind of get like a smooth center. Now I have some homemade whipped cream that I put in a piping bag, and we're just gonna do some little dollops of whipped cream around our peanut butter. Now I had a few extra Nutter Butters, so I'm gonna go ahead and break those in half and just kind of put them in between those little whipped cream pieces. All right, now this is ready to serve. It came out so cute. Let's go ahead and pop open our springform pan. Give it a nice little wiggle. And then we're just gonna lift it up. Woo! Oh my goodness, look at those little Nutter Butters on the bottom. The 2 layers of cheesecake. This is gonna be really good. We're just going to cut our slice. Oh my, look at that deliciousness. And remember, we have those bananas in there. This came out perfect.
It looks so good.
Nutter Butters on the bottom should be a little bit soft because remember we soaked them in milk, but let's try this cheesecake.
Is it good?
I could eat this every day for the rest of my life. It's so good. All right, so we just cut out 12 circles out of our pie crust. I did have to roll out some excess dough. I'm next bringing in my muffin tin, and we're gonna use our butter spray and just pan our muffin tin. Once you feel like it is greased, we're gonna grab our pie dough, and we're just gonna push that right into our muffin tin. It's okay if it has like a little flap, we can just fold that inward, and we are gonna do that with each of our muffin holes, just like so. All right, now that these are all in my muffin tin, I'm gonna grab my cheesecake no bake. You can find this at Walmart. And I'm gonna grab my little cookie scoop, and we're gonna add a half of a tablespoon of our no bake cheesecake into each of our little muffin tin holes. Now you could make your own cheesecake. It doesn't even need to be no bake, but I love this stuff. I could eat it right out of the tub. It just goes so well with so many desserts. But if you can't find it, you can make your own and it will be just as delicious. So let's go ahead and get our scoops in our pie dough. Yummy. All right, and with our cheesecake, we're gonna do strawberry pie filling. Now you could do a lemon pie filling or a cherry pie filling, but I just feel like strawberry is perfect for spring, which is why I am choosing the strawberry pie with the cheesecake. So we're gonna add a scoop of our pie filling right there in our muffin tin. All right, once these are filled up, we're gonna put them to the side, and I have one more pie crust that we're gonna use. And I'm gonna roll that out. You could obviously make your own homemade pie crust. And I have this adorable little flower cookie cutter, and we're gonna cut out 12 flowers out of our pie crust. Super quick for this easy and yummy dessert. All right, pull back out excess, and we have 12 adorable little flowers that are gonna go right on top of our strawberry pie filling as our top crust. Super easy, super delicious spring dessert that everyone will love. Obviously, the top crust is optional. If you don't have like a little flower cutter like mine, you can skip it, or you can cut it into something else, maybe like a little Easter egg for Easter. But this is just a classic, delicious spring dessert. Okay, last two, and these are ready for the oven. My oven is set to 350, and this is gonna be in there for about 25 minutes. All right, I just pulled these out of the oven, and they smell incredible. Woo, so perfect for the occasion. And look, they just pop right out and they are perfectly cooked. And that's why you gotta spray your pan. You pop so easily, and you have these little mini tarts, pies, whatever you wanna call them. All right, these look so delicious. Let's give one a try. All right, I'm gonna go for this one right here. It looks so cute. Remember, we have that cheesecake in there too. Wow, that is phenomenal. You guys have to try these.